Suppose a medical treatment has an 80% success rate. If 3 patients receive the treatment, what's the probability that exactly 2 are cured? Since the patients are randomly selected, we can assume that the success of the treatment on one patient is independent of its success on another. We can let the event that the treatment is successful be S, and let the event that the treatment failed to heal the patient be F. So the probability that the treatment is successful on a random patient is 80%, or 0.8, which therefore means that the probability that the treatment is unsuccessful on that same patient is 20%, or 0.2. This scenario fits the binomial model like a glove. For a situation to be described using a binomial model, there must be a fixed number of trials, n. In this case, 3 patients took the treatment, so n equals 3. The trials must be independent of each other. In this case, the patients were randomly selected, so the outcome of the treatment on one patient does not affect the outcome on another. Each trial has only 2 possible outcomes, success or failure. In this case, the patient is either cured or not cured. The probability of a successful outcome is the same for each trial. It's 80% for each patient in this case. Therefore, we can let the discrete random variable of interest x represent the number of patients cured. So we say x is binomially distributed with number of trials n equals 3 and probability of success 0.8. Notated like this. Now let's answer the question. We were asked to find the probability that 2 patients were successfully cured out of 3, which means the outcome should have exactly 2 S's and 1 F. The probability of success for one patient is 0.8, while the probability of failure is 0.2. The trials are independent, so by the probability rule of multiplication, we can multiply 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.2 to get the probability of 2 successes and 1 failure, which is 0.128. But hold on, an arrangement that contains 2 S's and 1 F can occur in 3 factorial ways, over 2 factorial ways. Since we are arranging 3 items with 2 items that are alike, now 3 factorial over 2 factorial is the same as 3 choose 2, or 6 divide by 2, which is equal to 3. So an arrangement that contains 2 successes and 1 failure can occur in 3 ways. These 3 ways could be the first 2 patients were successfully cured and the third patient was not cured, or the treatment failed to cure the first patient, but it cured the second and third patient, or the first was a success, the second a failure, and the third a success. So we need to multiply by 3 since SSF can be arranged in 3 ways. Now 3 times 0.128 is 0.384. So the probability that exactly 2 persons are cured is 0.384. Now what if 8 patients took the treatment? What would be the probability that exactly 3 are cured? In order to find the probability, the arrangement would need to have 3 successes, which means 5 failures. Using the multiplication law of probability, we can find the probability of the 3 S's by multiplying the probability of S, that's 0.8, 3 times, which can also be expressed as 0.8 raised to the third power. Also, the probability of the 5 F's can be found by multiplying the probability of F, that's 0.25 times, which can also be expressed as 0.2 raised to the 5th power. But wait, remember, this arrangement with 3 S's and 5 F's can be arranged in 8 factorial ways over 3 factorial times 5 factorial, since it has 8 items, with 3 alike and 5 alike. This is the same as 8 choose 3, so we need to multiply by 8 choose 3, since 3 S's and 5 F's can be arranged in 8 choose 3 ways. So the probability that exactly 3 patients are successfully treated out of the 8 that took the treatment is 8 choose 3 times 0.8 raised to the third power times 0.2 to the fifth power, which is 0.0092. Now let's back up a little bit and take a closer look at the solutions for both problems. In the first question, 3 patients took the treatment, while in the second question, 8 took the treatment. In both cases, the probability of success, P, is 0.8, while the probability of failure is 1 minus P equals 0.2. It was established that the discrete random variable x follows a binomial distribution, where x is the number of successful outcomes in n trials. The notation is written like this, where n is the number of trials, and p is the probability of success. Both are needed to describe the distribution completely and are called the parameters of the distribution. In the first question, the probability that 2 patients were successfully treated out of 3 was found to be this, while in the second question, the probability that 3 patients were successfully treated out of 8 was found to be this. Notice the pattern in both cases, the number of trials n, choose the number of successes x, times the probability of success, p, raised to the power of x, times the probability of failure, which is 1 minus p, raised to the power of n minus x. This is called the binomial distribution formula. This formula is used to calculate the probability of achieving a specific number of successes in a fixed number of independent trials, where each trial has only 2 possible outcomes, success or failure. An insurance company analyzed its past claims and found that, on average, 60 out of every 150 customers file a claim in any given year. Suppose a random sample of 10 customers is selected. Based on this information, what is the probability that at least 3 customers in the sample will file a claim this year? How many customers in the sample are expected to file a claim this year? We are told that 60 out of 150 customers file a claim. So the probability of a customer filing a claim is 60 over 150, which is 0.4, which we'll call the probability of success labeled as P. We are selecting 10 random customers, so X is binomially distributed with n equals 10 and P equals 0.4, where the random variable X represents the number of customers who file a claim. We are asked to find the probability that at least 3 customers file a claim. At least 3 means 3, or greater. So that means we want the probability of X is greater than or equal to 3. In this case, that's from X equals 3, straight up to X equals 10, since the sample size is 10. However, this method is too time-consuming. A more efficient approach is to use this probability formula. So instead, we can find the probability that X is greater than or equal to 3 by subtracting the probability that X is less than 3 from 1. X less than 3 means that X can be 2, 1, or 0. To find the probability that X equals 2, we'll use the binomial formula. So 10 choose 2 times 0.4 square times 0.6 to the 8th power. This simplifies to 0.121. Let's find the probability that X equals 1. That's 10 choose 1 times 0.4 times 0.6 to the ninth power. This simplifies to 0.0403. Let's find the probability that x equals 0. That's 10 choose 0 times 0.4 to the power of 0 times 0.6 to the 10th power. This simplifies to 0.006, so the probability that x is greater than or equal to 3 is 0.8327, same as the probability that at least 3 customers file a claim. Let's answer part B. The expected number of customers who file a claim is given by expected value of x is equal n times p. N is 10, and the probability of filing a claim is 0.4. So, on average, 4 customers from the sample of 10 are expected to file a claim. Now, what if we were asked to find the variance and standard deviation? The variance is n times p times 1 minus p. That's 10 times 0.4 times 0.6, which gives 2.4. The standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So the standard deviation is square root of 2.4, which is 1.55. This means the number of claims will vary by about 1.55 customers from the average of 4 in the sample of 10 customers. Let's try a problem where n and p are not given. A random variable x is binomially distributed with mean 6 and variance 4.2. Find the probability that x equals 5. We are told that the random variable x follows a binomial distribution. Hence, formula for the mean is n times p, and the variance is np times 1 minus p. This means that we can equate np to 6 and equate the expression for the variance to 4.2. Using substitution, we can replace np with 6 in the variance formula. Then divide both sides by 6 to get 0.7 equal 1 minus p. Solve this and we get p to be 0.3. To get the value of n, we know that np equals 6. To find n, we divide both sides p, which is 0.3, so n is equal 6 over 0.3, which is 20. So now we can use the binomial formula to calculate the probability that x equals 5. So we replace x with 5, replace n with 20, replace p with 0.3, and 1 minus p is 0.7. So the probability that x equals 5 is 0.179. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you better understand how to work with binomial distributions. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Adobe Math Lab for more math tutorials that make learning easy and exciting. See you in the next one.